Some athletes just play the game, others change it forever. Across decades of World Cup football, a handful of women turned raw talent into history, breaking records, lifting trophies, and inspiring millions of girls who once had nowhere to play. Some dominated entire tournaments almost single-handedly. Others delivered the kind of moment you never forget: a header in the dying seconds, a hat trick in a final, or a save that stopped the greatest player alive. So, who is the greatest women's footballer in FIFA history? Which legend delivered the most unforgettable World Cup performance? Stay with us, because the answer might surprise you. Number 10, Homare Sawa. For over 2 decades, Homare Sawa was the heartbeat of Japanese football. Blessed with vision, intelligence, and calm decision-making, she read the game like few others could. Her defining moment came at the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup in Germany. As captain, Sawa scored a stunning extra-time equalizer against the United States, dragging the final into a penalty shootout that Japan would win, becoming the first Asian nation, men or women, to lift the World Cup. She finished the tournament with 5 goals, claiming both the Golden Ball and Golden Boot. Months later, she became the first Asian player of any gender named FIFA World Player of the Year. Sawa proved that patience, leadership, and unshakable composure could conquer the world. Next, a wall nobody could get past. Number 9, Nadine Angerer. Great teams need great forwards. Champion teams need someone like Nadine Angerer. Germany's goalkeeper redefined what it meant to be unbeatable. At the 2007 World Cup in China, Angerer did not concede a single goal across the entire tournament, a feat no goalkeeper, male or female, had ever achieved at a World Cup finals. In the final against Brazil, she calmly saved a penalty from the tournament's best player, Marta, sealing Germany's 2nd consecutive world title. Angerer's dominance didn't stop there. In 2013, after captaining Germany to another European Championship title with 2 more penalty saves in the final, she became the first goalkeeper in history, men's or women's football, to be named FIFA World Player of the Year. She proved goalkeepers could be superstars too. Number 8, Carli Lloyd. Some players save their best for the biggest stage. Nobody did it quite like Carli Lloyd. Powerful, fearless, and relentless under pressure, Lloyd built a reputation as American soccer's ultimate big game player. That reputation became legend on July 5th, 2015. In the World Cup final against Japan, Lloyd scored a hat trick in just 16 minutes, including an audacious strike from beyond the halfway line that caught the goalkeeper off her line. It remains the fastest hat trick in World Cup final history, men's or women's. The United States won 5-2, and Lloyd took home the Golden Ball. She also scored the gold medal winning goals at both the 2008 and 2012 Olympics. Few players in football history have delivered so consistently when everything was on the line. Number 7, Sun Wen. Before the world truly knew women's football, China had Sun Wen. Technical, intelligent, and lethal in front of goal, she was the complete forward of her era. At the 1999 World Cup in the United States, Sun carried China all the way to the final against the host nation, scoring 7 goals along the way to share the Golden Boot and win the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. China ultimately fell to the Americans on penalties at a sold-out Rose Bowl, but Sun's brilliance had already made history. In 2000, FIFA named her joint Female Player of the Century alongside American legend Michelle Akers. Her influence helped ignite a golden generation of Asian football that still echoes today. Number 6, Abby Wambach. In the air, inside the penalty box, Abby Wambach was almost impossible to stop. Strong, fearless, and devastating with her head, she scored goals that seemed to defy physics. None more famous than July 10th, 2011. Down to the United States' final seconds against Brazil in the World Cup quarterfinal, Megan Rapinoe launched a desperate cross into the box. Wambach rose above everyone and buried a header in the 122nd minute, the latest goal ever scored in a World Cup match. The Americans went on to win the shootout. It remains one of the most replayed moments in the sport's history. Wambach later lifted the World Cup in 2015 and Olympic gold in 2012, becoming, for a time, the leading international goal scorer in football history before Canada's Christine Sinclair broke her record. Number 5, Michelle Akers. Before there was a dynasty, there was Michelle Akers. At the very first FIFA Women's World Cup in 1991, Akers almost single-handedly carried the United States to the title, scoring 10 goals, a single tournament record that still stands today. She scored both goals in the final, a 2-1 win over Norway, earning the inaugural Golden Boot, playing through immense physical pain and later battling chronic fatigue syndrome. Akers embodied raw determination as much as raw talent, equally dangerous in midfield and attack. She helped build the foundation of American women's football dominance. In 2002, she was named joint FIFA Female Player of the Century alongside Sun Wen, a fitting tribute to a career that helped make everything that followed possible. Number 4, Christine Sinclair. International greatness isn't only measured in World Cup trophies, sometimes it's measured in decades of consistency. Christine Sinclair gave Canada exactly that. Calm, clinical, and remarkably durable, Sinclair represented her country across an astonishing career spanning more than 2 decades. Along the way, she became the all-time leading international goal scorer in football history, men's or women's finishing, with 190 goals, more than any player who has ever lived. She led Canada to Olympic gold at the Tokyo Games in 2021, the crowning achievement of a career built on quiet professionalism rather than headlines. Sinclair rarely sought the spotlight, but her longevity, leadership, and sheer weight of numbers place her among the greatest to ever play the game. Number 3, Birgit Prinz. Germany's rise as a women's football powerhouse had one player at its center, Birgit Prinz. Fast, powerful, and clinically efficient, Prinz didn't need flair to dominate matches. She simply scored again and again. She led Germany to back-to-back World Cup titles in 2003 and 2007, finishing her career as the second highest goal scorer in World Cup history with 14 goals. Between 2003 and 2005, Prinz won an unprecedented 3 consecutive FIFA World Player of the Year awards. She also collected 3 Olympic bronze medals and multiple European titles. Where other stars thrived on spectacle, Prinz thrived on reliability, the kind of relentless, controlled excellence that turned Germany into the team every nation feared. Number 2, Mia Hamm. No player did more to introduce women's football to the world than Mia Hamm. Fast, creative, and clinical, Hamm became the face of the sport during the United States' rise to global dominance in the 1990s. She won the World Cup in 1991 and, most iconically, in 1999, a tournament that filled stadiums across America and sparked a cultural moment for women's sports. Hamm also won Olympic gold in 1996 and 2004. For years, she held the record for the most international goals scored by any player, male or female. But Hamm's true impact goes beyond statistics. She inspired a generation of young girls to believe that football belonged to them too, a legacy far bigger than any trophy. Number 1, Marta. And now, the player who redefined what was possible. Marta, Brazilian, breathtaking, and utterly unique, Marta combined dribbling, vision, and finishing in a way the women's game had never seen before. She holds the record for the most goals ever scored at a FIFA World Cup, 17 goals across 6 tournaments, more than any player in history, men's or women's. She has been named FIFA World Player of the Year a record 6 times, more than any other footballer alive. And yet, remarkably, Marta never won a World Cup title. Representing a country that historically gave far less support to women's football than her rivals, she still became its greatest ambassador, carrying Brazil's hopes match after match, tournament after tournament. Fans call her the female Pele, but really, she's simply Marta. Her lack of a trophy doesn't diminish her greatness. If anything, it makes her story more remarkable. Marta didn't just play football. She proved what one player with enough skill and heart could mean to an entire sport. Narrowing this list to 10 players meant leaving out extraordinary talents. Megan Rapinoe, Alexia Putellas, Aitana Bonmat, Hope Solo, Kelly Smith, Hege Reis, Formiga, Alex Morgan, Sam Kerr, and Wendy Renard have all left their mark on the history of women's football. Women's football has simply produced too many legends to fit into a single countdown, and with several of these players still active, their stories are far from finished. Future rankings may look very different as new records fall and new legacies are written. From Japan to Brazil, from goalkeepers to strikers, these 10 players came from different eras, different positions, and completely different backgrounds. but they shared the same qualities: talent, discipline, courage, and an unshakable love for the game. They didn't just win matches, they built an entire sport from the ground up. They filled empty stadiums, challenged outdated stereotypes, and gave millions of young girls around the world someone to look up to. So now it's your turn. Do you agree that Marta deserves the #1 spot as the greatest women's footballer in FIFA history? Or would you rank Mia Hamm, Birgit Prinz, or another legend above her? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit like, subscribe for more football history, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next legendary story.